Kerry Mangerson. I'm a Distinguished Professor of Statistics at QUT and a member of the Centre for Data Science here at QUT. And it's my great pleasure to open this launch of the AI Against Modern Slavery Hackathon that's been co-organised by QUT, our Queensland University of Technology in Australia, Mila in Canada, and also Los Libros, who's a great partner in organising this hackathon. And you'll hear from the different people from these organisations throughout this event, this launch. And so we're going to then go through today just the overview of the launch and of the hackathon, and then open it for any questions that people have. So let's get going, Adriana. So modern slavery is a growing global concern. Modern slavery takes many different forms: forced child labour, forced labour, domestic servitude, sex trafficking, use of child soldiers, debt bondage, forced marriages, and so on. This is a problem across the world, and it's a growing problem. There's more than 10 million people that have the increase in the number of people that are in modern slavery since 2018. It's about 10 million. There are 50 million people in the world that are in modern slavery. There are 28 million people in forced labour, 22 million people in forced marriages, and 12 million of these people are children. So this is a huge problem, and it's a problem that's not just somewhere else. It's actually in our own places as well. Here in Australia, there's more than 40,000 people who are estimated to be in modern slavery. In Canada, our partner organisation, it's 69,000 people that are in modern slavery. And the supply chains for Australia, where our business comes from, are from many parts of the world that are also affected by this scourge, by modern slavery. So it's incumbent on all of us to think about this as an issue that is our problem, not someone else's problem. The challenge really in addressing modern slavery and combating it is that there are now modern slavery laws that require companies to submit annual reports about their supply chains. UK has a Modern Slavery Act, Australia has a Modern Slavery Act from 2018, and Canada has the Fighting Against Forced Labour and Child Labour in Supply Chains Act in 2024. So businesses and governments are trying to do something about this. However, while reporting is essential for transparency, it also presents significant challenges. We bring these laws into action. We require companies to do something about and to report on their actions against modern slavery, but there is a critical gap in this practice. What this gap is that we have so many companies that are now presenting documents, and these documents need to be verified and they need to be examined. So we require methods that can support people in being able to evaluate whether these companies are actually complying with the law. We need fast, scalable solutions and a much more rigorous evaluation of compliance for companies. We need greater accountability and transparency, and we need a more robust climate for businesses and human rights to be able to address this issue of modern slavery. So we have companies and we have businesses and governments that are trying to do something about this, but we need our help. We need the help of AI and of people like us in this hackathon and in this community to support those efforts. So this is what we're trying to do in our project on the AI against modern slavery. This is our response, and we're making all of these products and goods that we're creating for this open source. And you can find some of this through arXiv and also through this QR code. So we encourage you to look at what we're trying to do in this space, one small component, one small endeavour to support this work in modern slavery. However, we need your help, and that's where the hackathon comes in. We want to have this hackathon to achieve a number of objectives. We want to raise awareness of modern slavery. We want to amplify the impact of our project. We want to translate our research to practice. And importantly, we want to fill the gap between the methods and tools that are available to support the stakeholders in this endeavours. We've come so far, but we need your help to go further. We need to also train the next generation of data and AI scientists to drive social good. So this hackathon is really placed in that gap where we've come so far, but we need to be able to do more in order to support the people who are trying to combat modern slavery. We have a number of confirmed knowledge partners. Thank you very much to our knowledge partners so far. We have WikiRate, Mekong Club, we have UNESCO, Erkai, Walk Free. It's a fantastic group of people. But we also can do with more sponsors and more knowledge partners. And if you would like to join us in this endeavour, then please let us know. Now I'd like to hand over to Jerome from Mila to talk to you for the next part. Over to you, Jerome.
Thank you, Carrie. Hello, everyone. My name is Jerome Solis. I'm a Senior Director of Applied Projects here at Mila, responsible also for the AI for Humanity portfolio. As you can imagine, AIMS is a project that couldn't describe better what AI for Good actually is, and is really close to the mission of our research institute, which is to build AI that benefits whole of humanity. And so in this next section, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what has been done in the last few phases of AIMS, and give you some ideas of where we can move further with what we already have done. So actually, AIMS, the first phase, started way back in 2019, looking at the UK Modern Slavery Act. And there, the team did an extensive analysis of the legislation, of the different documents that were made by the different organizations, and came out with some recommendation to make sure that the documents that were created could actually be used by AI to come up with those insights and help with the analysis of the documents. And so, for example, making documents machine readable was one of those recommendations that was emitted. In 2022, the project moved to Australia, where it had a chance of working with thousands of documents in order to do that first analysis. And so where we looked at the Australia's Modern Slavery Act. I'm going to tell you a bit more about what we did there, but basically over the course of 2.5, 3 years, we took a lot of documents. We crafted annotation requirements where we built a high quality data set that was then used to train AI models in order to analyze effectively the documents and come up with compliance analysis of those documents. And finally, today we're also looking at how we can export that. Well, export in some cases, but bring that back to us in Canada, and where we could apply this as well to our newly adopted legislation on modern slavery. So some of the major artifacts that were created during the AIMS project so far. First thing first, a very strong specs of annotations that were crafted with domain experts, and that was used to train a body of data annotators, where they looked through thousands of documents and were able to generate tens of thousands of high quality annotations across those documents, and that were compiled into one of the largest annotated data set of modern slavery statements today. Based on these annotations, we were able to fine-tune models and benchmark large language models across different techniques. We say zero-shot, few-shot learning approaches. Many approaches were tested to figure out what was the approach that resulted in the best results. And these research initiatives were featured and highlighted in many high-level conferences, such as ICLR and ACL. And so now that we have all of this body of research and artifacts available, there are many things we can do. We can look back. There is things we can do even better to keep the analysis, to make the analysis even stronger. But we can also basically move beyond compliance, right? So today what this does is telling us whether or not the documents are compliant with the current legislation. That's the first step. But then people want to know, well, what can I do better in that in that field, and really be leading my industry and trying to mitigate the risk of modern slavery in my supply chain. And so that's why this hackathon is here, is that we can use some of these artifacts that have been created to really coming up with new and novel solutions that's going to help industries not just know whether or not they are compliant with the legislation, but also help them improve and be a better citizen in the world, and ensuring that they minimize the harms of modern slavery. So that I think sets up pretty well the scene for Adriana to tell you more about the vision behind Project AIMS. Up to you, Adriana.
Thank you, Jerome, and thank you, Carrie, as well for setting the stage for the hackathon. So we have prepared a website for the event, and you can access it through this link or through this QR code. And what I'm going to do in the next maybe 15 minutes, I'm going to run you particularly through the challenges of this hackathon, and then I'm going to pass to my colleague Sebastian from Passus Libres to talk a bit more about the logistics of how to register and really give him the hard jobs to convince you why you should join us in this hackathon. So to start, you can follow through the website, or I'm going to present to you the challenges. So as Carrie and Jerome presented, this hackathon builds upon years of work and years of research into how can we take these statements that have been published by large corporations and really structure their data and assess them at scale and thoroughly, and create explainable methods that really can then be used by the government, by investors, by the businesses themselves or consumers to really assess the leaders in the industries and the companies that are doing the right thing, and to celebrate them and to guide the businesses that need to do a little bit more. And throughout this pipeline of such a complex interdisciplinary project, we encountered a couple of challenges. We tried our best to try to respond to some of them, but we really would like to invite all of you to help us solve some the ones that are left. So I'll start first by looking at the data mining and processing challenges. So in this challenge, we would like to build upon some of the work that we've done at Project AIMS, and we propose here a few potential future directions, but all of this will be able to co-create better as we progress with this hackathon. But before, let me present where we sit now. When we assess modern slavery statements, those statements are being published in PDF documents, some of them fully scanned, some of them partially scanned, having only the first page which are of the board scanned, or some of them being digital. Nevertheless, when we try to extract all this data, we have made the deliberate decision not to look at scanned documents. So we're already losing some of the important data by not including specific businesses that send their documents in scanned format. Additionally, the documents that are even partially scanned or have many tables or infographics, we tend to observe that with the methods that we're using in extracting the text, we're having a lot of noisy data that is being extracted from this more difficult format, which we cannot use in our analysis. So we're only so far looking at the text that is extracted correctly and that is presented in formed sentences, because all the work that we've done so far is at sentence level. So we look at the document and we try to see what sentences can we extract, and then we assess those statements, if these sentences, if they're compliant or not with any mandatory criteria. So we're losing some important information that to be able to create really good AI later or software, we really need to fix this particular problem. So what we would like to welcome the hackathon participants to do is to try to enhance these text extraction methods for the PDFs until these laws, as Jerome said, will take on some of these recommendations to add companies to publish in machine readable formats, we will have this challenge that the documents will be published in PDFs. So ideally, we would like to invite you to look if there are better ways to extract text from PDFs. Or if you now we know that there are many multimodal AI models that can have a different approach than extracting text, but rather to interrogate the PDF as being an image and try to create a new pipeline of how to look at this data. We would really like also to create solutions to extract meaningful information from tables and from figures that are already in these statements. And here in our annotated data set that we're providing open source with this solution, we actually have annotations for each document. We ask the annotators to tell us if they're seeing a table or a figure. So we already have some really good data that you can use if you're looking at this particular challenge. We also think that maybe there is an opportunity to move beyond just doing analysis at sentence level and to present opportunities to explore different chunking strategies to look at embedding larger context from the documents when assessing it rather than taking sentence by sentence. And also, we know that depending on the different potential stakeholders that are going to assess these statements, there are also particular ask. For instance, from some discussions with the businesses, we know that they're really interested to know if there is a particular list of suppliers that the company has described. Normally, these lists are found in the appendix of documents. So really being able to extract very specific information from those documents that can answer the user need later on in the pipeline is really fantastic. So this is the first challenge, and these are some of the issues that we would like to solve with this. And why is this important? Well, this might sound that is a little bit more of a dry challenge, is data mining. It's one of the most important elements in the pipeline of this project, as I mentioned before. If we are able to extract the data correctly from those documents, we'll have an increased speed of our analysis. Also, of course, we increase accuracy and we'll have richer insights with fewer errors. But most importantly, we'll ensure that the stakeholders, the government, the industry, the citizens who are going to use the outputs of this work are going to do it with more reliable data. And this is really important, especially that here we're talking about assessments with compliance with the law, but also that this assessment comes with a huge reputational cost or benefit for the company. So it's really important to have accurate data. And that's why this challenge is something that we wanted to put forward with this hackathon. Now, the second challenge of this work is going to look at the model. As Jerome presented, while we put forward this important data sets, the AIMS.eu training set, but as I was showing on the previous slides, we also have some testing sets with statements from Australia, Canada, and the UK. We were able to fine-tune some of the large language models on the AIMS.eu dataset and then check how well those models even generalized across different jurisdictions, or to create prompts to provide to zero-shot models such as the GPTs out there, and then benchmark the performance of the models that are fine-tuned on specialized data versus models with very good prompts. And we also, in the pipeline of the project, decided that we wanted to include explainability methods. We never want to argue that this project should create an automated pipeline of analysis, but rather we want to look at the statements, apply the right methods and the right explainability techniques, and then provide all that knowledge back to the user to make the final decision. So explainability methods are really important for us. And also, as earlier indicated, we started very early to move beyond compliance, beyond just looking at the mandatory criteria of the law, but being able to actually ask a lot more granular questions on these documents beyond that. And we have a framework, we have all the knowledge on what those questions should be, and some initial techniques on how to use large language models to ask those questions, but there is a lot more that we can do. So we still have current limitations. The performance of our models or the resources that they require to run can be improved. Also, our explainability methods are quite native. They're quite at the beginning stage at the moment. And also the prompts that we're using, they tend to be quite long. So what we would like to invite you to do is to really look at how to improve the performance of the models, or even bringing new models. You know, in this large language models field, every other week there are exciting new updates. So we would love to see what happened in the last 2 months, and hopefully benchmark those new methods on these high quality data sets that we are providing. We also think that will be really interesting to look at refining the prompts, not only the lengths, but also the insights of those prompts. And of course, to enhance the pipeline, to make sure that this process can happen effectively and in the resource-constrained environments, such in NGOs and governments, and to keep improving the explainability methods, both for the models that are fine-tuned on this data, so in understanding why did the model provided a specific output, but also for the prompts, because we know that with specific techniques, we can ask ChatGPT to tell us how it reached a specific decision, and then having that type of reasoning collected in a meaningful format and presented to the human. So those are some avenues that we believe that it will be possible to improve where we are today with Project AIMS through this hackathon. And again, why is this important? Well, we focus a lot on the accuracy of the results, and we really think that if we improve some of those, we will have, again, more reliable data. But with large language models, it's important to think about efficiency and sustainability. So if we correct for these prompts, if we correct the infrastructure of those models, we can create faster and more optimized models that also can be run at lower cost. And also reduce their environmental impact. And all of those are extremely important elements when discussing about resource-constrained environments, as I mentioned before, such as NGOs, who tend to be the ones keeping this research alive on how companies are performing with their modern slavery due diligence. But also the inclusion of explainability is really helping us design AI ethically and transparent, and helping the user understand the decision, and also ensuring that we always keep a human in the loop in this pipeline of analysis, which is extremely important in our vision of having AI developed for humanity in an ethical manner. But having this human in the loop can also mean that we can then use the knowledge of the user to embed back into the model, and through reinforcement learning possibly to improve the models over time. So this is a way for us to think about the sustainability of these methods in the long run. And finally, as I mentioned, we would love to present to you our initial experiments on moving beyond compliance, and really get your insights on how to build better solutions in being able to assess those statements a lot more granular over time. Now, our third challenge is really looking at application and visualization. So how do we take all these different artifacts, and then we provide a tool for the users to use? And while Project AIM has been a research project, our goal was to create outputs of research. So we have great academic papers, and we have all the associated artifacts, the data, the models that Kerry showed, where we have put them open source. But we know that it will be incredibly valuable to have a software or an application or a website where a user can actually drop a statement and then assess it over the different mandatory criteria, and really visualize how well the company is reporting, or have statistics aggregated per industry, or per turnover, or depending on what is their question that they're trying to answer with this assessment. So at Milan, our colleagues have put together a prototype called Conformia, where they are trying to start this visualization pipeline. And here we have a screenshot where we can see a document that has been assessed. Here it has been assessed by GPT based on the prompts that we provided. And here, for instance, we look at the signature criteria, and we can already observe what highlighted in yellow, what are the relevant informations from the statement that are confirming that this document has been properly signed. And here we have the extracted text that is relevant for this criteria for the user. And this is a very first layer that we have just to provide a visual for what we're thinking about when we say that we would like to take all this data and the resources and put them into a useful tool. So what we would like to invite you to do is to develop software and application that can create these user-centric solutions that will make all the artifacts accessible and actionable, and of course create more meaningful insights with the project. And to make sure that those tools are tailored for stakeholders, that's why we bring in to this hackathon so many experts with diverse expertise to help us co-design what that means and to ensure that whatever we're building will be useful for the policymakers and NGOs out there, and to enhance usability. So ideally, this will be very user-friendly, and you'll probably have all the experience on how to ensure that these solutions can actually provide the user with the insights that they need to do their job better. So we leave this to you, and we're excited to see what you can come up with. And again, why this is important, it's because if we just leave the project where it is today, and it's extremely important to have very good peer review research to inform these solutions, but not NGO will be able to use our GitHub files and run them locally, and maybe they don't have access to the compute needed to assess thousands of documents each year. So we need to create accessibility for everyone. We need to empower different stakeholders that normally don't have this type of capability in-house to be able to access this type of solutions, and then to ensure that by having this type of software or application, every year, every document is being assessed. So we create sustainable analysis that is assessing all companies on the same metrics, and they do it every year. So we create that transparency and accountability at scale, as Kerry mentioned at the beginning of this presentation. So this will help us have a continuous improvement if we are to include a human in the loop. So once specialists are reviewing the outputs of the models, they agree or disagree with the prediction of the model, we can collect that feedback and continuously improving the models if we have the right software to allow us to do that. And again, by doing that, we really can ensure that we are scaling our impact. So this is a very important challenge for us, and that's why we wanted to make it part of this hackathon. And finally, we have a blue sky innovation. What we mean here, if you have an idea that you look at our data and our artifacts, and then you think, you know what, I want to use this, but I also know about this incredible data set or this incredible tool that I've built before, and I would like to come to put all these ideas together and present something you guys haven't even thought before. We'll be very open to that, and we'll be welcoming any innovation, as small or as big as you like to take it. So this is what this fourth challenge is about. Come in and impress us with all your ideas. And now I would like to invite my colleague Sebastian to tell you on how you can get involved and how we're planning to run this hackathon.
Hi, everyone. And Adriana, thank you very much for that comprehensive explanation of the AIMS project, also Jerome and Kerry, and for explaining in so much detail each of the challenges that we are proposing for this competition. Now, as you mentioned, I'm going to talk about the timeline, the prices, how to register, and why you should participate in this competition. So, what is the AIMS hackathon like? So this is a 7 days competition that actually, if we consider the evaluation and the winnings announcement, is a longer competition, but in general, it is divided in 4 main moments: learning and training, hacking, judging, and winners announcement. So from the 10th to the 12th of September, we are going to have an amazing opportunity to learn about modern slavery and how to contribute to strengthen the AIMS project. So it is super important to highlight that we are not looking for experts on modern slavery or someone that has been involved in this field for years. We are looking for change makers that want to use their knowledge, their skills, their own expertise to contribute to address this issue. So that's why during 2 days, we are going to be in charge of giving you all the knowledge and some of the skills that you need to assume the challenges of the competition. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the agenda because it is looking amazing from now. But for you to know, we are going to have 2 days in which you are going to learn about modern slavery, and you are going to have access to other workshops in pitch and in design thinking and other tools that are going to help you to address the challenges of the competition, as I mentioned before. Then we have the hacking moment. So from the 13th to the 17th of September, you and your teams are going to have time basically to develop your solutions, but with the support of mentors. So this is flexible time for you to meet with your teams, to find out the best moments of the day to work, but you are going to have mentors available that are going to support you. So we are doing an amazing effort here to have mentors in every time zone of this planet, like from the US to Australia, the UK, Canada, Colombia. So you are going to have a mentor available to assist you at any moment in any time. Then the 17th of September, the teams are going to submit their solutions. And after that, our team of judges are going to evaluate your solutions from a technical point of view, but also from the thematic angle as well. And from the 13th to the 16th of October, we need to define the exact date. We are going to announce the winners of the competition. So how to participate? 4 really easy steps. First, for your team. Second, register. Third, get ready. And fourth, compete. So first, for your teams, you need to conform teams of minimum 4, maximum 5 participants, and it should be multidisciplinary teams. So it is really important to mention here that each team must ensure that they have the necessary data and programming skills to deliver the solution. But also, of course, we need people that knows about international law or human rights, supply chains, logistics. So we really encourage you to form multidisciplinary teams because that's going to help you to address the challenges in a best way. This is not only have to do with technology, but also how to use that technology actually to create value for the different stakeholders that Adriana mentioned, and actually to contribute to strengthen these solutions. So we need a lot of knowledge and expertise and diverse skills in this competition. Second, after you form your team, you go to our website. We are going to share the link on the chat, and you are going to find a link to register. This is a really simple Google form that you need to fill out with the information of your team members and information of your team, the motivations to join the competition, and some information that is going to help us to select the teams that are going to participate. At the moment, we don't have like a limit for the teams that we are going to host in the competition, but obviously we will consider the multidisciplinarity of the teams as an important criteria that we are going to evaluate at the moment of selecting the teams. Then we are something important here is that the deadline to apply to be part of this competition is August 20. We have plenty of time, but please don't wait until the last minute to register. Then we are going to announce what are the teams selected to participate, we are going to email you confirming that you have been accepted. And then it's time to get ready. Go to the AIMS project website, explore a little bit more. We are going to submit these recordings. So remember what are the challenges, explore a little bit, try to find more information about the issue. Also, we are going to send you an exclusive participant handbook that we are developing for this competition with all you need to know about modern slavery to get started on this field. So that's another actually huge advantage of participating in this competition. You are going to get a really nice participant handbook summarizing all you need to know to participate. And finally, compete. That's the purpose of this competition. You have to do your best during 7 days together with your colleagues to develop the best solution that you can. And remember, you are going to have access to workshops, to trainings, to panels. So that's part of what we are offering in this competition. So again, how to register? This is the header of our website. When you go there, on the top of the website, you are going to find the register now button. Click there. It is going to drive you to the registration form. Also, you are going to find the terms and conditions of the competition. We highly recommend you to read those because when you register to participate, you are accepting those terms of conditions and conditions too. And I don't know if you are still wondering why to participate, but in case, there are three main reasons that I would say that should be a powerful motivation to participate. First one, this is the opportunity to change something. So as you see on Adriana's presentation, AIMS project is real. This is a tangible solution that has been developed during several years to help different stakeholders to promote transparency, accountability, and a world free of modern slavery in the supply chains and in the operations of the company. So this is a huge opportunity to contribute to the growth and to strengthen the impact of an open source solution. That's something really important to highlight. Like Adriana, Kerry, Jeron, all the team are basically putting this powerful tool to the disposition of the humanity to make the best we can with it. And this is the opportunity to contribute with that amazing effort. The second reason, this is an opportunity to learn about modern slavery. As you know, this is not a common topic on the curriculum on the universities or high schools. And here we are bringing together around 30 experts from all over the world that are going to teach you not only about modern slavery, but about how we can use technology to address this issue. We have experts from the United States, Canada, Australia, Colombia, Mexico, Hong Kong, basically from all over the world. They have worked with companies addressing this issue during years. They have expertise in human rights due diligence, in responsible investment. They are really genius people regarding AI software development. They have worked in amazing companies. So this is the opportunity to connect with people that you can only see in huge conferences and of course in huge competitions like this one. So don't miss out that opportunity. And the third reason is connect. You are going to have the opportunity to amplify your network of professional contacts. You are going to connect with our mentors, with the experts, but also with other change makers from over the globe. And Adriana here is showing us what I would qualify as the fourth reason to participate, and is the prizes. So this is a competition. We have prizes too. This year we have 5,000 USD in prizes. The first place is going to get 3,000, not bad for a 7 days competition. The second and the third place are going to get 1,000 each, and all participants will receive a certificate of participation. We are also we are still working to find other income prizes, so expect surprises during the coming month. So yeah, I think that our invitation today is to really motivate you to form your teams. Also, we know that there are a lot of professors, researchers, CEOs of organizations, like leaders of different organizations in Latin America, in Europe, in Oceania, in America. So if you have the power to share this call with other people, to share this with your networks, that would be the best support that you can provide to us. We are looking for change makers. We are providing the tools, the knowledge, the skills, all the information and the developments of the project aims, and we need some brilliant minds to come together and help us to end modern slavery. Over to you, Adriana.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. I am sure people are now convinced that they should join. This is really an exciting opportunity, and there was a lot of information. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A section. And while you're doing that, maybe I would like to ask you, Sebastian, a question first, because I know you've have a vast experience with organizing data competitions against modern slavery. So from your previous experience, what are some of the general questions that you receive around this initial stage of organizing from participants?
Okay, one of the questions is like, hey, I think I have a team, but they are in other countries. Can I participate? And the answer is yes. Of course, this is an online competition. A huge advantage is that you don't need to be with your friends and your teammates in the same room. So yes, we receive like registrations of international teams with members in different countries. I think that another important question is what happens if I don't have a team. So you can send us an email. Actually, Juan Pablo shared our contact details. We are going to send you again that information through email, but you can drop us an email like, hey, I don't have a team. Can you help me to find one? We have good experience like forming teams before the competition. Another question is like, can I register as an individual? There are some hackathons that allow that, but in this case, we are receiving only registrations for teams that are already confirmed. So as we mentioned before, we have a lot of time before the deadline for the registration of teams close. So you have, time to call your friends, to write a message on a Facebook group or something like that, or to look for support from us, and we can help you to form your teams. What else? What else? I don't remember for the moment. Those are some of the main questions that we usually get.
And just to confirm, this is going to be an English competition. I know some of your previous competition were run in Spanish, but we just want to confirm that this time everything will be done in English. If you, however, would like some support, maybe could be one of the skill that you can look for in your teammates, that maybe some of them have stronger English skills. Sebastian, do you mind telling us a little bit more about in your previous competitions, you had some experts that were teaching the teams on how to pitch their solution, and maybe if you don't mind talking a little bit more about that, and maybe some of the skills that the team should bring, but also that they can learn as part of this competition.
Sure. So yes, we are going to have like two main workshops. One is going to be on design thinking and the another one on pitch. So our goal with the design thinking one is like to provide the general framework of the design thinking, and basically to help the teams organize themselves and actually to follow a logic plan at the moment of actually designing their solutions. And also we are going to have a pitch workshop because, we are going to share these details with the selected teams, but part of the deliverables that the teams need to prepare include a pitch. So we are going to prepare a workshop with a Cisco colleague that is going to teach the teams how to summarize like their solutions and show them in a really powerful presentation to focus in what is really important and actually in what can help the judges to take a good decision. And regarding the second question, like what skills should I look for a team? As we mentioned, this is about multidisciplinarity. So the skills linked to uh, data science or software development or coding are essential in this competition, but you also should look for other team members with some expertise in law or international relations or human rights, logistics, like people that maybe can bring some additional expertise to the team that understands like the needs of the companies, but also how actually like drive these tech-based solutions to solve the challenges that we are proposing.
And Sebastian, so there is a question regarding any restriction of age, education level, or country or region. So far, our terms and conditions makes it clear that we're looking for people that are at least 18 years old. In terms of education level, I know some of the previous competition had quite higher restrictions in terms of where people are in their education, more like final year students or professionals, but this time we like to open the competition for undergraduates, graduates, professionals. So people, no matter where you are in your journey, if you think this competition is right for you and you have the right skills and together with your team, you can put forward a compelling solution, we will really welcome that. So there shouldn't be a restriction, and similarly, there shouldn't be a restriction by country or region. One thing that we want to ensure, and that's we'll figure out once we know exactly the team, is that depending where you are in your country, you'll be able to access maybe the resources, but also the communication channels. So we will see if some of the students or participants won't have access to Zoom or Slack. We will try to find and accommodate solutions for you, or WhatsApp, or we will make sure that you will have access to the mentors and everything, regardless of where you are. And we'll take case by case, but we'll try our best to accommodate all these different resources.
And we
Sebastian,
have
there's another. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Would you please?
Okay, yes. So if you maybe are interested in supporting this competition with your expertise as a mentor, we are open, obviously, like to host new mentors. So again, feel free to email us, and if we can discuss these opportunities, like your experience in this field or in other fields linked to this competition, are really valuable for us. So sure, there are open spaces for mentors. And Kerry, also in the past, for example, we have had teams from universities, and there is a professor that is not part of the team, but that want provide mentorship to that specific team. So you can do that. That's part of the strategy that you can adopt in your teams. So in the past, we have some teams from Ecuador, and actually there was a lot of professors like supporting the teams, but they were not part of the team. So that's something that you can do if you are presenting as a part of an university, and you have to increase the challenge, the chances to win this competition.
Perfect. Well, I think maybe with this we can moving towards closing, and just wanting to reiterate that we are really, really excited about the opportunity to work with all of you and see what would you do next with all these resources that we are providing. I think it's going to be an exciting opportunity to meet like-minded individuals and learn from each other and have some fun and maybe win some prizes, and who knows where this can take each of us next. So please also share this with your network. We really hoping to reach as many people, as diverse teams as possible from anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of having such a large international competition. And And then we will keep you updated through our social media, to the LinkedIn and other platform, with all the exciting news that we are expecting in the next couple of weeks. We're having some discussions in the background with other potential collaborators that we would like to announce. And if we have any exciting in-kind prices or any changes to that, please stay tuned. And we'll also encourage you to register as soon as possible. I think the sooner we know you're interested, the sooner we can provide you more details about the resources that we already have. You have more time to familiarize yourself with some of those resources, and then you'll be better prepared coming September, when we are actually launching and starting the event. Now, if there are not further questions, Carrie, do you mind if I pass it back to you for some closing remarks before closing the meeting?
Sure. Thank you very much, Adriana. Well, I hope everybody has learned something in this presentation about the hackathon. We're very pleased again to be able to present this hackathon, and on behalf of all of the organizers and all of the team, I'm looking forward to meeting you during the hackathon, and for us all to be collectively being able to do something about modern slavery. So thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you to the Los Libres team. And with that, we'll close the launch.
Thank you.